Howdy, here is a Spider-Man spin-off miniseries. This is the 80s, and it's time to give Satan his own comic book. Satan, if you've never read the Bible, he is a bad guy. He is like the Bible's Joker. Satan is also Spider-Man's best friend. I didn't think they mentioned that in the Bible. But Spider-Man, he gives Satan his marriage to Mary James because they are such good friends. And some might criticise the idea that Spider-Man would ever make a deal with Satan. But you've got to remember they are best friends. Spider-Man and Satan, they are dead good mates. This series, it has some odd credits. It is written and plotted by Al Milgrom, who is more known as an artist or inker. And the art is by Sal Buscema, John Buscema's brother. The art is fantastic. Pun, maybe, because it is Fantastic Force here. But the individual issues are also co-written with the writers of whatever guest stars are featured. So for this one, Roy Sternman is given a co-plot credit because he was writing Fantastic Force. And that's notable in and of itself because he only wrote like 5 issues of the series. He was brought on to fill in for Jason Byrne leaving. I kind of love this series, but I admit it is riddled with more faults than the movie San Andreas. The artwork is great, and I like the bits where it's just straight up the heroes fighting or failing at fighting Satan. The overarching plot is quite bad and nonsense. But you know, there's something neat about seeing Fantastic Force fight Satan. And this ties into a Jason Byrne story where little Franklin Fantasticals, he unleashed his bullshit plot powers and defeated Satan. For this issue, it is presented as Satan wanting to enact some revenge on Franklin Fantasticals and the rest of his family. Right now, Satan is manipulating the characters on Earth. He's making them see things or experience their worst fears. Like, the Thing is afraid that Human Fire and Kerry Washington are mocking him behind his back, and Human Fire is afraid of his fire powers flaring out of control. Pun again, because flares and that. The quality of this, the product, like the printing and stuff, this is very nice paper. This was priced higher than your standard comic of 1987. And I have seen persons say that this didn't warrant it. But I say you are wrong, because you get to see Sal Buscema, John Buscema's brother, draw the shit out of Satan. Fantastic Force, sans She-Hulks, they are transported to Satan's realm, as is Franklin Fantasticals. And here we get that motivation about the Jason Bourne issue. And we get to the stuff that I enjoy. Superhero fights. Obviously, every hero is outpowered by Satan. Thing, with his lumpy fists, isn't any use at all against the embodiment of evil. So what we are seeing here is almost torture porn, but it's all done as a superhero comic and a superhero fight. Satan, he tortures these heroes, like he removes Thing's rocky form and reveals underneath that his soul is just as monstrous. I like this. I just like stuff like this. Fighting. I like seeing superheroes fight against impossible odds, even if they get soundly defeated. Human fire is pretty useless in this fight. Of course, Satan is used to fire and flames, so human fire is naught to him. With Mr. Fantasticals, we get more of a psychological approach. Satan deduces that Mr. Fantasticals' weakness is his brains, and he tries to trick Mr. Fantasticals into believing that his intelligence is a result of a prior deal with Satan that Satan made him forget about. When Mr. Fantasticals is doubting himself, Satan uses the opportunity to strip away his intelligence, and he is left dumb and confused, barely able to even speak. And next, an enraged, invisible wife lashes out at Satan for what he has done to her husband. She is like the one who comes the closest to accomplishing something in combat with Satan. So instead, Satan, he appeals to her selfless nature and says that he will leave Franklin Fantasticals and the rest of the team alone if she freely surrenders her soul to him. So she does, and we end with her condemned to hell and Satan in possession of her soul. Get ready for a convoluted plot in this series to quickly undo Satan owning Invisible Wife and other characters' souls. I might be easy to please, but I do find this first issue a blast. I'm not as keen on the next 3 issues. The next one with extra factors is alright. The Christopher Clairvoyant Excellent Men one is dreadful. And the final issue with Thor and the Avengers is super disappointing. But this first issue is strong in my opinion. We have a straightforward plot with a good implementation of the 4 members of Fantastic Force. Amazing art by Sal Buscema, that is John Buscema's brother. And I think this satisfies what I want out of this comic. I'll give it 7 thumbs up, and I'm not being cheap enough to say something like 666 thumbs up. It's getting 7 thumbs up.